Good morning, students. Once you have to revise the second unit. In last class, we have to revise the first unit. So, what are the basic concepts of data warehousing and data mining? And what are the applications? What are the what is the data mining? And those are all concepts. What are the basic concepts you have to what are the basic concepts you have in the data warehousing and data mining? Those concepts we have discussed in last class. Now in today's class, we have to discuss regarding to the data pre-processing. So why we have to use the data pre-processing? So for example, here you have the huge amount of data. From that huge amount of data, you want to your required information you want to retrieve by using the data mining. First, the entire data you have to arrange it into the first. You have to arrange it into the data warehouse. So before the data you have to arrange it into the data warehouse, you must be perform the data pre-processing. So in the data pre-processing, mainly you have the four steps you have to involve in the data pre-processing. First one is the data cleaning. Second one is the data integration, and third one is the data reduction, and fourth one is the data transformation and data discretization. These are the four types of techniques you have in techniques, and whatever the call you have to call it as methods. Before data warehouse, you have to the data you have to store. These are the four concepts you have to use in data pre-processing. So in the data pre-processing, what is the data pre-processing, and what are the methods or what are the techniques you have to use it in the data pre-processing? Now we have to discuss. First one is the data pre-processing. In real world databases, generally you have to represent the for example, you have to take a huge amount of databases like student databases, whatever the bank databases. So what are the in company databases, whatever the databases we have to consider. You have to fill up the application. Most of the people, they don't want to fill some fields. Okay. So they leave the fields while you have to completing your details. So that type of data, most of the databases have that type of data. You want to that type of data. You want to data is missing, and also unnecessary data say they have to enter. But actually, your required field is required data you want to, but they have to enter something other data. So these type of data will be available in the databases. So you want to process that type of data. Here you can use the data pre-processing. In real world databases, highly is susceptible to noise and missing and inconsistent data. And due to their typical huge size, origin from the multiple heterogeneous sources, low quality data will be lead to the low quality missing results, mining results. So prefer the pre-processing techniques. Mano ade data use chesi mano you want to mine, so you get the low quality of mining results you are getting. So that type of problems you have to solve whenever you have to arrange it into the data warehouse. You must be do the data pre-processing, so you get the high quality of mining results. While whenever you have to asking the particular information, so easily you can get, and the whatever the data you have to retrieving, that is the data is quality quantitative data you have to get it. So this is regarding to the data pre-processing. So in the data pre-processing, mainly you have to use here real world databases highly susceptible to the noise and missing values, inconsistent data due to the typical huge size of the. So whatever the inconsistent data you have, that data you have to convert it into consistent data by using the data processing. So here you have to use the four processing pre-processing techniques you have to use. First one is the data cleaning. Whatever the data you have to apply to remove the noisy and correct inconsistencies in the data. And noisy data eliminated by using the data cleaning. And the second one is the data integration. Merges the data from multiple sources with a coherent data store, such as data warehouse. For example, uh, student databases. Student databases available in the student website of the college, as well as in the university database also. Okay, both the data you have to consider. Only you have to require one, so that only you have to consider. So you have to integrate that type of data. You have to merge by using the data integration. And data reduction, we can reduce the data size. For example, you have the huge data, nearly 1 million records are there. All the records you don't want to process. Only few data only you have to process. That is the entire data you have to reduce by using the aggregation, eliminating the redundant features, clustering for the instance. You have to using those methods. We have to data is reduced. This type of these techniques generally simply call it as not much mutually exclusive. They work for together. So fourth one is the data transformation, such as normalization. You have to apply it for this technique. So generally here we can do perform. We can perform four types of techniques. One is the data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, and data transformation. Need for the pre-processing, incomplete and noisy, inconsistent and data or commonplace properties are largely involved. Databases and data warehouses. Incomplete data can occur for the number of reasons. Attributes of interest may not be always available. Relevant data may not be recorded due to the misunderstanding and because of equipment and malfunctions. Data that were inconsistent with the other recorded data may have been deleted. Missing data, particularly for the tuples, missing values or some attributes may to be inferred. The data collection instruments used to may be faulty. There may be a human or computer errors occurring is data entry. Errors in the data transmission can also be occurred. There may be technology limitations such as limited by the buffer size for the coordinating, synchronized data transfer and consumption. So these all need for the pre-processing. Why? Because whenever you have to giving the quality input, you are getting the quality out. Okay, clear? Based on that concept, simply you can in the data warehousing and data mining, quality data you have to give into for the mining to mine the data. So the automatically you get the quality output you are getting. You don't want to give the any quality data, so automatically you do not get the any qualitative information. You don't get. That is the problem. So you can that data you want to, whenever you want to output, you have to generate a qualitative output. So automatically you can give the qualitative input. So whenever you have to give the qualitative input, so automatically here you can perform these four techniques: data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, and data transformation. So these are the need for the processing techniques. Next one, see here, this is the representation of the what are the step-by-step process for this data warehousing and data mining. First one is the data cleaning, data integration. So this is the data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, and data transformation. And here you have the four steps. This is the data cleaning. In the first step, that is the data with the circles. That is the data cleaning. And the next one is the you have to integrating the data. That is the data integration. Then data reduction. Again, you have to minimize finally transformation. That is the normalization you have to apply. Finally, you can get the data you have to store into the data warehouse. See this example. These are the transactions. So actually 2000 transactions are there, but you have to normalization you have to apply only transaction 1450 transaction only you have to. But whereas here, how many attributes are there? Only 126 attributes are there. But here you can consider only 110. Uh, 110 attributes. Data cleaning. So in the data cleaning, mainly you have to perform these are the operations you want to perform. Inconsistent data you have to convert to consistent data. Missing values. First, where you have to missing values, those values are performing the following methods are useful to performing the missing values over several attributes. ఎక్కడైతే missing values ఉన్నాయో those columns you have to perform here. Ignore the tuple, filling the missing values manually. Use the global constant to fill the missing value. Use the attribute mean to fill the missing value. Use the most profitable. Simply you can say that use the most probable value to fill the missing value. Second one is the noisy data. How we can noisy data we have to overcome by using the binning method. Binning method generally you have to use the stored data by consulting the neighborhood uh, around it. Simply you can say that binning methods we have to use the smooth by binning means smoothing by bin boundaries you have to consider here, and the partitioning equal frequency bins, smoothing in bin bins, smoothing by bin boundaries. So you can do the with example we can present. And the regression and clustering. So the group of data points you have to represent as cluster. The clustering you have to outside the cluster. What are the data points you have? That is the output. Those all things we have to discuss here. And third one is the inconsistent data. So first one is the missing values, second one is the noisy data, and third one is the inconsistent. So this inconsistent data you have to by using the data cleaning process, discrepancy detection and data transformations methods you have to apply here. Discrepancy detection tools, what are the tools you have to use? Here data scrubbing tools and auditing tools mainly you have to use. For the transformation you have to use the migration tools and the ETL tools, that is the extraction and transformation loading tools. So these are the tools mainly you have to use it for the data discrepancy detection tools. And second one is the data transformation. Data transformation you have to represent you have to transform the data, changing the rows and columns by using transformation. Next, third one is the third concept is the data integration. So in the data integration, data mining is other requires data integration to merging the data from the source into the coherent data store as in data warehousing. These sources may include the multiple databases, data cubes and flat files. Issues in data integration, schema integration and object matching, redundancy and detection and resolution, data value conflict. Schema integration and object matching we have to discuss in the data integration. Redundancy techniques as well as detection and resolution. So here, along with this, here you can find out the mean of the particular values. Uh, detection and detection and resolution of data value conflicts. So these are all concepts we have. Next one is the data reduction. After normalization, we have to apply the data reduction techniques. That is a data cube aggregation and attribute subset selection. Generally, in data reductions, we have to divide into two types: numerosity reduction, dimensionality reduction, as well as subset selection and aggregation. These are the four methods we have to be presented in data reduction stack. Attribute selection. So it is the main method. Reduction attribute set. So what type of reductions you have to use? So that is the numerosity reductions, dimensionality reductions. These all things you have to discuss in the reduction techniques. And what is the binning process you can do with that stepwise? Generally here in heuristic methods you have to use it for the subset selection. Four types of selection process techniques you have to use. First one is the stepwise forward selection, stepwise backward elimination, combination of forward selection and backward elimination, decision tree induction. So these all concepts one by one in detail we can discuss it in further classes. So yeah, this is the regression process. In the regression process, mainly you have to use linear regression and multiple regression. Linear regression, the relationship between the two attributes that is represented as linear regression. The relationship between the one attribute with the other attributes, more than one variable, more than one attribute, that type of regression is called multiple regression. For example, father to child, that is the one linear regression. Father to that is the child to father is one linear regression. Child to father and his mother and for family, that type of more than depending on more than one variable, that is simply called as multiple linear regressions. That is the log linear models. These are things we have to discuss. Non-parametric models, that is histograms. We have to represent it here. Clustering and sampling methods, wavelet transforms. So we discuss in step-by-step process. These are mainly these are the four concepts we have to discuss in the data warehousing and data mining. In the technique of data preprocessing. Okay, I have some work.